Hello to all of my awesome boys and girls. Welcome back, first graders, to another math class with Miss B. I hope you guys are ready to listen and learn. It's gonna be so much fun. Okay, boys and girls, now before we get started, I have some rules that you guys need to listen to. So, number one, your legs are crossed. Number two, your hands are still unless we're singing or dancing. Number three, your ears must always be open and listening. Number four, your eyes must be open and watching. And number five, your lips are zipped unless teacher wants you to repeat after her or sing a song. Now, if you can do all of these five rules, then give yourself a high five because you are a smart boy and a smart girl. Okay, boys and girls, to start off our lesson, let's talk about our morning routine. At 7 o'clock, we do lots of things. We wake up, we brush our teeth, we eat breakfast, and we wash our face. But you know what, man? That's a little boring. Let's add some rock. Okay, Miss B, let's rock. Oh, yeah. Plus, at 9 o'clock, we go to school. We learn a lesson. Oh, yeah. School rules. At 12 o'clock, we eat our lunch. We play with our friends. Oh, yeah. Good punch. At 3 o'clock, we go away from school. Yes. No much to play. At 6 o'clock, we eat our din. Yummy. We eat our din. At 8 o'clock, we go to sleep. Hmm, I'm tired. I'm tired. I hope you guys enjoyed that little rappy rap that Miss B did for you guys. So from that awesome rap that Miss B just did, we could have seen or we could have heard that there were many different activities happening at different times. So let's get into our lesson today. Our lesson today is all about telling time by the hour. So by the end of the lesson, you guys will be able to identify the job of the shorthand on the analog clock, identify the job of the longhand on the analog clock, tell time to the hour on the analog clock, and tell time to the hour on a digital clock. So let's get started, boys and girls. So, boys and girls, this clock that I have on the screen is not any old clock. This clock has a name. It is called the analog clock. What is this clock called? The analog clock. And now we can see that there are two different arrows on our analog clock. One is shorter and one is longer. And these hands help to tell us what time it is. So the shorthand shows the hour and the longhand shows the minute. I always like to say a little rhyme that helps me to remember. It goes like this. Hands on a clock always goes around in the same direction. It is called clockwise. The short hand shows the hour and the long hand shows the minute. Now, boys and girls, let's take a look at another type of clock. This clock is called the digital clock. Now we can see that this one is very different from the analog clock because it doesn't have any arrows. So there is no shorthand or longhand. What does it have? Very good. It has numbers. So let's look at these numbers. So we can see here that this digital clock is saying that it's 7 o'clock because we see the 7, we see a colon, and then we see how much zeros? Let's count it. 1, 2. We see 2 zeros, so we know that that digital clock is saying 7 o'clock. Now, boys and girls, let's try to tell the time on the analog clock. So the first thing we must do is look at the shorthand. And the shorthand says the number that it is pointing to. So what number is the shorthand pointing to? Very good, the number 2. So next, we must look at the longhand. And if the longhand is at 12, then it says o'clock. If the longhand is at 12, it says o'clock. If the longhand is at 12, it says o'clock. O'clock, clock, clock, clock. Clock, 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 clock. Very good. So now we could say that the shorthand is on the 2 and the longhand is on 12, which is o'clock. So let's just put it together. So the time is 2 o'clock. And to put that on a digital clock, we put a 2 colon 0 0. Okay, boys and girls, let's tell the time on this analog clock. So the first thing we're going to do is look at the shorthand. And the shorthand says the number it is pointing to. So what number is the shorthand pointing to? The number 10. Very, very good. Now, let's look at the longhand. What number is the longhand pointing to? Very good, the number 12. And we know that when the longhand is pointing to the number 12, it says o'clock. When the longhand is pointing to the number 12, it says o'clock, clock, clock. When the longhand is pointing to the number 12, it says o'clock, clock, clock. O'clock, clock, 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 clock. O'clock, clock, 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 clock. Very good. So let's put it together. If the shorthand is pointing to the 10 and the longhand is pointing to the 12, then we could say that it is 10 o'clock. And to write that on our digital clock, we write the number 10, a colon, and 2 zeros. Awesome job. Oh wow! Today is lovely Lisa's birthday. She will be having 3 special activities for her birthday today. Now, I need you guys to put on your thinking caps and your detective eyes to figure out which time she will be having each activity. Do you think you can do that? I think you can, boys and girls. Let's go. Based on the picture, does anybody know where Lisa will be going first for her birthday? Blue Lagoon, very good. So now let's see what time she's going to go on her birthday. So we see that the shorthand and the longhand is both pointing to the number 12. So can anybody tell me what time it is? Very good, boys and girls. It is 12 o'clock. And to do that on a digital clock, we write the number 12 colon 0 0. Now we can see that Lisa is going to be eating her cake. So let's see what time she's going to be doing that. So let's look at the shorthand. Which number is the shorthand pointing to? Very good. The number 6. Awesome job. Now, what hand is the long hand pointing to? The number 12. So, what time is it, boys and girls? It is 6 o'clock. If you said 6 o'clock, give yourself a pat on the back. Very good. Now to write 6 o'clock with our digital clock, we write the number 6, a colon, and 2 zeros. Very good. Okay, let's see what happens next. We could see that Lisa has gone to bed. So let's see what time Lisa goes to bed. We could see that the shorthand is pointing to the number 8. Very good. And the longhand is pointing to the number 12. So what time do you think it is? Very good. If you guys said 8 o'clock, you are correct. Give yourself a kiss on the brain. To write that on the digital clock, we write the number 8 colon 00. Okay, boys and girls, let's recap with the poem. Hands on a clock always goes around in the same direction. It is called clockwise. The shorthand shows the hour and the longhand shows the minute. Very good, boys and girls. Okay, boys and girls, you did such a wonderful, awesome, amazing job today telling time by the hour. But in order for that information to stay inside of your noggin, you must do some worksheets. So I want you all to turn to your math workbook. Caterpillars, you will be doing worksheet 8. And butterflies, you will be doing worksheet B. Okay, let's get to it.